Is your dad secretly a mob boss? Hold on to your fedoras, folks, because we're diving into a world of mystery and intrigue. In this video, we bring you 10 signs that might suggest your dad has mafia connections. From mysterious phone calls to an uncanny ability to get a table at the busiest restaurants, we're leaving no stone unturned. Let's dive in. We've all been there, gathered around the dinner table while Grandma asks, "So, what does your father do again?" And suddenly, the room goes quiet. Your dad mumbles something vague about import, export, or waste management consulting. You've seen the way he answers the phone with a gruff, "Yeah," and the way he always seems to know when someone's coming before they even ring the doorbell. Grandma might think he's just a hard worker with unusual hours, but you're starting to suspect those late-night business meetings might involve a few more Tommy guns than PowerPoint presentations. So the next time Grandma innocently asks about your dad's work, just smile knowingly and say, "Oh, the usual, importing Italian spices, exporting, Goodwill." Now let's talk about cars. We all know dads and their cars are a different kind of love story. But when your dad's car looks more like it belongs in a high-speed chase scene than a school carpool lane, it might be time to raise an eyebrow. Is it a sleek black sedan with tinted windows so dark you could barely see a vampire hiding in the back seat? And speaking of the back seat, have you ever noticed how much space there is in the trunk? Maybe he's just really into extreme grocery shopping, or maybe he's smuggling in the world's largest collection of Beanie Babies. Just remember to wear sunglasses and practice your best poker face. For safety reasons. Have you ever noticed how your dad seems to have a knack for, shall we say, getting things done? Need a last-minute reservation at the hottest restaurant in town? No problem. Dad knows a guy. It's like he has a direct line to a team of fixers who can handle anything life throws his way. And sure, maybe he's just really resourceful, or maybe he's secretly running a highly efficient concierge service on the side. But there's a certain air of, let's call it influence, that surrounds him. Like a fine mist of, "you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours" kind of vibes. And you can't help but wonder, who are these mysterious connections? And what favors are being called in to keep things running so smoothly? Let's talk about money, honey. Specifically, the kind of money your dad seems to have a never-ending supply of. That thick wad of bills he keeps tucked away in his pocket, held together by a rubber band that's seen more action than a trapeze artist. It's always hundreds, crisp and new, like they just rolled off the printing press. Which, who knows, maybe they did. Now, I'm not saying there's anything inherently suspicious about carrying cash. Some people just prefer the old-fashioned way of doing things, right? But when your dad's idea of running to the store for milk involves peeling off a $100 bill like it's nothing, you can't help but wonder, where is all this money coming from? Does your dad live a life that seems a tad too extravagant for, say, a waste management consultant? I'm talking vacations in the Bahamas, custom-made suits, and maybe even a pet tiger named Tony. Now, I'm all for enjoying the finer things in life, but when your dad's lifestyle rivals that of a rap mogul, it's only natural to wonder, how is he funding all of this? Maybe those late-night business calls weren't about boring old spreadsheets after all. Maybe, just maybe, they were about negotiating deals for rare diamonds or planning elaborate heists involving lasers and a team of acrobatic ninjas. Now, every dad wants to protect their family. It's a natural instinct, deeply embedded in their DNA. But sometimes, that protective instinct can go into overdrive. When your dad starts turning your home into something that resembles a maximum security prison, it's time to start asking some serious questions. Imagine steel bars on every window, security cameras that can spot a fly from a mile away, and a front gate that requires not just a password, but also a blood sample and a secret handshake to get through. It's like living in a spy movie. Is your dad just being overly cautious? Or is he expecting a visit from someone who might not be bringing a fruit basket and well wishes? Maybe he's watched one too many action movies. It's like living in your own personal fortress. Instead of moats and drawbridges, you have motion sensors and laser beams. Every corner of the house is under surveillance, and every step you take is monitored. Just remember, if you ever hear him mutter, "They'll never take me alive," it might be time to invest in a good pair of running shoes. You never know when you might need to make a quick escape. Just in case. After all, it's better to be safe than sorry, especially when your home feels more like a high-tech fortress than a cozy family abode. So next time you're sitting down for a family dinner and your dad is checking the security cameras instead of passing the mashed potatoes, just remember, he's doing it all out of love, or maybe a little bit of paranoia. Either way, it's always an adventure living in a bulletproof house. And who knows? Maybe one day you'll thank him for it. Ah, business trips, the bane of every child's existence. But when your dad's business trips sound more like exotic vacations with a side of intrigue, it's hard not to let your imagination run wild. I'm talking destinations like Monte Carlo, Rio de Janeiro, and maybe even a little island off the coast of Italy that may or may not exist on any map. And the secrecy. He's always tight-lipped about the details, muttering something about confidential negotiations and international clients. Just remember, if he ever invites you on one of these business trips, pack your detective hat and a phrasebook of useful Italian phrases, just in case. Now, who doesn't love a good family vacation? The sun, the sand, the endless fun? It's the perfect way to bond and create lasting memories. But when your family vacations involve private villas, personal chefs, and enough caviar to sink a small island, it's only natural to wonder, how is Dad affording all of this? It's like stepping into a world where luxury knows no bounds, and every whim is catered to. And the best part? He never seems to flinch at the bill. Whether it's a 5-course meal at a Michelin-starred restaurant or a spontaneous helicopter ride over the city, he handles it all with a smile. It's like money is no object, like he's got a secret stash of gold buried somewhere that only he knows about. You start to wonder if he's secretly a treasure hunter, or maybe he won the lottery and just never told anyone. And sure, maybe he's just really good at saving up his frequent flyer miles. Perhaps he's a master of travel hacks, always finding the best deals and making the most of every point and mile. But there's a part of you, that tiny voice in the back of your head that whispers, "This is too good to be true, isn't it?" You can't help but feel a bit suspicious, wondering if there's more to the story than meets the eye. Just remember, if your dad ever suggests a family trip to a remote island with no cell service and a suspiciously high population of sharks, maybe politely decline. It might be wise to stick to destinations where you can easily call for help if needed, just to be safe. After all, it's better to enjoy your luxurious vacation with peace of mind, knowing that everything is above board and there's no hidden agenda. So pack your bags, but keep your wits about you, and get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. Let's face it, in today's world, everyone has a cell phone. But when your dad has more phones than a telemarketing company, it might be time to raise an eyebrow. I'm talking about a phone for every occasion. A burner phone for business calls, a smartphone for family matters, and a flip phone that's so old it probably still plays Snake. And the way he talks on them, whispering in hushed tones using code words that would make even the most seasoned spy scratch their head. The Eagle has landed. The package is in transit. Tell Frankie I said cannoli. Just remember, if he ever catches you listening in, play it cool. Just act like you're really interested in the latest ringtone craze. The one that sounds suspiciously like a police siren? They say a man's home is his castle, but what happens when your dad has more castles than a medieval monarch? Imagine living in a world where every time you turn around, there's another opulent property to explore. I'm talking about multiple properties, each one more luxurious than the last. It's like stepping into a different realm of extravagance with every visit. A beach house in Malibu where the waves serenade you to sleep, a ski lodge in Aspen, perfect for winter getaways and cozy nights by the fire, a penthouse apartment in Manhattan, offering breathtaking views of the city that never sleeps. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Each property is a testament to luxury and grandeur. It's like he's playing a real-life game of Monopoly, but on a scale that most of us can only dream of, except instead of collecting properties with colorful little houses, he's amassing a portfolio that spans continents. He's collecting them with offshore bank accounts and a team of lawyers who are probably on his payroll, ensuring every deal is airtight. Now, I'm all for diversifying your portfolio, spreading your investments to minimize risk. But when your dad's real estate empire could rival that of Donald Trump, it makes you wonder about the sheer scale of his ambition. You can't help but wonder, how is this even possible? The logistics, the management, the sheer audacity of it all. Just remember, if he ever offers to let you stay at one of his vacation homes, don't hesitate to take him up on it. Make sure to pack a swimsuit, a tuxedo, and maybe even some hiking boots and a healthy dose of skepticism. You never know what surprises might be in store. Just in case. After all, in a world of such opulence, a little caution never hurts. So there you have it, folks. 10 telltale signs that your dad might just be connected to the mob. Or maybe he's just a really good gift giver with a penchant for secrecy. Who knows? Whilst it's fun to play detectives, take these signs with a pinch of salt. Appearances can be deceiving. Maybe your dad really is just a hardworking guy with a knack for finding great deals on luxury vacation packages. Or maybe he's not. Share with us if you identify any. And just as a side note, have you ever wondered, can a cat be in a mafia? Stay tuned for a lighthearted twist.